All right, it is 5:57 p.m. I'm referencing April 29th, 2022 at 5:56 p.m. after entering and remaining in the Upland Public Library where the light source remained over me as I left the Fontana Lewis Library, which is what you'll see at 1:17 p.m. And you're remembering yesterday at 1:22 p.m. it's over me here in Los Angeles. That's letting you know what the Fontana Police Department and the people of the state were doing in Fontana on April 29th, 2022, where I'm capturing criminal summoning, and it lets you know what the Los Angeles Police Department and the people of the state are doing here in Los Angeles while the light source is over me and at zenith. April 29th, I got on the bus Omnitrans, a facilitating venue, utilizing channels of interstate commerce, the roads and the highways, while the light source remains over me as opposed to stationary at Alvarado Gardens. Again, this is how you know what an entity is doing. And I'm documenting the light source street for street, turn for turn, while I'm on Route 66 going from Fontana, California to Upland, California. And as I get off the bus, which is what I was referencing today, at 4:18 p.m., and I'm showing you the light source over my head and you're looking at light activity inside of the laundry room, and you're also looking at the character of that light. So you're understanding not only is this not sunlight while the light source is over me at 477 North Euclid Avenue at 4:18 p.m., and you're looking at it outside of my bedroom window through the window of the laundry room, and you're looking at the light on my wall through closed blinds, and it's magnified in size. The entity is engaging in what is the maintenance of a specific environment. At 5:56 p.m., I went inside after having captured images of what is, again, engineered light inside of Upland Public Library, because not only is that not possibly the sun while you're looking at it here in Los Angeles, that wasn't the sun then, that's a specific environment. The entity kept the light source over me at Fontana Lewis Library when on the days when I stayed at the Upland Public Library from opening and even before opening, okay, until after closure, which was at 6 p.m., the light source remained stationary over the roof, visible through the roof of Upland Public Library. It wasn't at any location visible over Fontana Lewis Library, like I captured while Summers of the Fontana Police Department engaged in an assault and battery by an entity that's engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. This is how you're understanding the big picture of what the entity is doing, and you're looking at the environment that they're doing it in. The entity is monitoring, and they're doing it in a specific environment, and the entity is demon possessed. And this is demonic. Not only is it impossible, that impossible environment is present because I'm subject to what is a criminal system in the private space. This is giving context to what is a sex offender. That is the entity that's monitoring. That's the people of the state. All of them will be identified and prosecuted for what is a massive sex offense committed by the public entity. The people of the state are in the shoes of the state. You will be getting a personalized federal prosecution as a sex offender engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring. And that's why you have impossible light activity. This light is never going to appear, first of all, because the sun doesn't remain present at the duration until the end of the day. That is rising and setting in alignment to my apartment. As you've already seen, the documentation establishes what the entity is doing now that I'm here in Los Angeles, California. As I continuously juxtapose this specific environment with the specific environment that you see in the Inland Empire, for example, in Upland Public Library, where I'm exiting at 5:56 p.m., which is why I'm capturing this venue. That's why I'm capturing this video right now at the same time, 5:57 p.m. A negligible difference of 60 seconds. It's the same enriched and very rich documentation having equal value. It's not in any way decreased in value, showing what is equally impossible. The light source at 5:56 and 5:57 is remaining present as I'm capturing video on April 29th at 5:56 p.m., stepping out of the entrance of Upland Public Library, and you see on Euclid Avenue in alignment to me, and you see the light activity that surrounds. I also routinely captured the light activity inside of the Upland Public Library. The entity was engaging in impossible light that somehow diagonally streamed into the entrance door in order to reach into just like you see inside of my apartment in the morning, sunlight reaching into the depths of the apartment. This is what the entity does at all venues, reaching into at the end of the day while it's already there in the morning, and then still upon exit. Why? Because the entity is engaged in a sex offense, always wanting to violate and touch you. These are demons that are keeping you under surveillance and touching you with this unnatural light for a criminal purpose. It will be appreciated as what is part of the perpetual sex offense by the entity that's keeping you under surveillance. So the entity is maintaining a light source at 5:56 p.m., replete with what is impossible light that you see inside of the Upland Public Library, because if the sun was over the Upland Public Library, and you see that light that's all over the ground, as though that's the sun over the roof, and that's sunlight in the shape of the windows on the roof of the Upland Public Library. But this is impossible while you're seeing it over me and remaining at Alvarado Gardens for the duration of the day. And that's how you know what is going on in Fontana. That's how you know what's going on at the Upland Public Library. That's how you know what's going on with those demon-possessed, corrupt law enforcement agencies that were also documented group stalking and monitoring, terrorizing, and tormenting by helicopter, just like you see LAPD doing here in the specific environment. environment. And while you're looking at impossible light that is magnified in size, very demonic, it's not just impossible, understand it's demonic, and it's letting you know what the people of the state are doing. Their ongoing personal knowledge about what I do, that is while I pull my panties down, that's a sex offender that maintains that ongoing knowledge and is interested in the moments when I'm pulling my panties down and pulling them back up, when I'm washing and what body part I'm washing, maintaining engineered light in all of the ways that they're doing so inside of my private space in order to also touch me and also maintain as a specific reminder that I'm stalking you, that I'm monitoring you. I also know that you're enforcing your rights and I do not care about that. I'm going to continue to threaten you and place you and keep you under surveillance. Also, I'm going to act with that corrupt law enforcement agency and stalk you and torment you via helicopter, which is what the LAPD is also providing ongoing evidence against the people. And to that end, they will be prosecuted. This is serving as what is an admission. There's no sunlight that's going to appear here at 5:56 p.m. while the documented light source is at the Upland Public Library upon my exit on April 29, 2022. And here's the light source. As you've already seen, I'm giving you another vivid illustration, and here it is right here. All right, this is the pattern of conduct. This is not visible as you're looking out of the entrance doors of the Upland Public Library. These are demons that are pacing around, including Amazon. In the specific environment with light activity, you're looking at the commercial means of group stalking. And Amazon Prime knows this is being documented, and Amazon Prime has been heavily documented, engaging in what is state terrorism. You have Tina Ree that's over here crossing path in the engineered light. None of this is the natural environment. And Amazon Prime is documented in the Inland Empire, aware of the fact that they've been documented on plenty of occasions. So I'm glad that they're here engaging in the pattern of conduct with knowledge of the fact that they're being documented. The entity that is demon possessed, that's acting in a specific environment. And in other words, the entity that's following with the light source, that's not possibly natural, knows exactly what you're doing and who you are, and that you're even enforcing your rights. So I just want to be clear on that. And that logically follows. The entity is engaging in ongoing knowledge of the fact, while the entity, for example, at 2301 South Euclid Avenue, where the entity maintained a light source, and this is just another vivid example, Amazon Prime heavily documented engaging in what is harassment as an entity, the commercial means whereby the entity is engaged in the criminal elements, the demonic behavior. Amazon Prime, a demon operating this commercial vehicle, molesting my person with engineered light, just like you saw the group stalkers while I was in the parking lot. Thomas Waddick crossing path and impossible light moving across the dumpster. Amazon Prime engaged in the same demonic conduct in a commercial vehicle, wearing the vest of the smiley face and engaging in that same exact demonic behavior in what is under no circumstances going to be the sun while it's here all day long, because it was remaining over me at the same parking lot of where that Stater Brothers is. By the way, I'm documenting the maintenance of the light source over me at that Stater Brothers at that same hour. It was approximately like 4:09 p.m. as I reminded you about either 24 hours ago or 48 hours ago. But the entity, this is again a body of evidence that's surrounding them. There's no sun that's going to be over Alvarado Gardens and over the Stater Brothers in Ontario, California at Holt Boulevard and San Antonio, where contrary to what I captured right over my head, and you're looking at the demonic conduct of the people of the state. This is demonic pacing. They're engaged in ongoing activity creation, all in the engineered light, and they're also psychopaths that are outwardly conducting themselves as they're doing anything else, like something else. And you're looking at impossible light. You're looking at a light source that remains all day. You're looking at what is the body of evidence where this light source is also at the same time, which is speaking to what is impossible. And then you're understanding the significance of what is flashing light is light activity. Amazon Prime is going to be heavily documented, and they have been heavily documented as engaging in a sex offense, a terrorizing act by a demon who molests your body with impossible light activity while they're group stalking and monitoring you. And this is a demon that is, again, convinced that they're getting away with it because they're making a delivery, because they have some brand name on them. Amazon Prime heavily documented, okay, for years, not only group stalking and monitoring and harassing in Ontario, California, at the Economy Inn, 2301 South Euclid Avenue. The entity engaging in what is massive demonic conduct. Again, as I document Amazon Prime, the demons that repeat it, they'll do more of it. So they act in a pack, a terrorizing pack of demons. And this is what I documented while I was leaving 2301 South Euclid Avenue in Ontario, California, where the entity was maintaining a light source over my head at that hotel room, where Ontario PD were group stalking day and night by helicopter, where the entity was engaging in the maintenance of engineered light, just like you see here at the venue. And so, like I said, I will digress. Amazon Prime is waiting to be exposed on a world scene. And so you're talking about while they group stalk with the corrupt law enforcement agencies, those drivers will go to federal prison. Amazon Prime will be civilly and criminally prosecuted and exposed as a company that is facilitating terrorism by a government that's placing American citizens under surveillance. And it's not a coincidence that those demons that are operating those commercial vehicles and flying airplanes, group stalking, engaging in the same exact demonic system, are doing so in not only a specific environment, but with ongoing knowledge that they're being documented. And so they sought, Amazon Prime, and this is just a template, this commercial actor sought to engage in more, which is the demonic pattern. They engage in more as you document them. thinking that they're going to silence me, thinking that they're going to get away with it. And I have a body of evidence showing the reality of what Amazon Prime is. And Amazon Prime is nothing other than one name whereby the people of the state are facilitating the state's criminal system. Okay, so they're here engaging in P.O.C. They're in the specific environment where there is no sun at 5:56, 5:57 p.m. in Upland, California, contrary to what I'm capturing as I'm stepping out of the entrance doors of the Upland Public Library. Amazon Prime is in no way taking away from the criminal and civil liability of the people of the state. And I want to be clear also, another avenue that they engage in, they will have a commercial actor arrive, and that's supposed to take away from the criminal conduct of the people of the state in order to take away focus from the people of the state like him, who are going to be equally subject to deportation and federal prison. You will drain the pockets. This is what I'm saying. Nobody's escaping justice. You will both drain the pockets of Amazon Prime. You will both place that company on what is the list maintained by the Department of Justice as engaging in facilitating federal group stalking and monitoring terrorism by the state, while they're in this country trying to make money off of the American people, and they're placing you under surveillance. The Los Angeles Police Department is monitoring through their activity conduct, and they engage in the demonic behavioral pattern, meaning they cross path and molest my person and molest surfaces with impossible light activity. That's the mark of demon possession. That is occurring well beyond any coincidence. So I just want to be clear, they're not doing anything but wearing a uniform and wearing a commercial brand, a logo, whereby the same demon possession, the same criminal elements of monitoring are underway. That's identified as malice. Okay. This is a demon that's pacing in the engineer light. That's Ty Lee's son. They are all specifically documented. I believe that, again, that's relevant for deportation out of this country. And while he's moving around, Amazon Prime is audible activity. The engineer light's moving across the asphalt. They're doing so with the commercial means. That's civil and criminal prosecution. The documentation of Amazon Prime is serving against as the people of the state. This is what the people of the state do. They're acting on behalf of the entity, in other words. You're also looking at what is pacing. That's Careto. She's walking in one direction. The truck is, Amazon Prime's vehicle is a means of what is pacing as well. They're all in engineered light. So you're getting past the outward veneer. You're looking at what is activity creation in that specific environment. And this is how you're understanding what are demons. They're not going to levitate with red tails. They're engaging in what is demonic behavior together. And they're not getting up in the morning and having a meeting. Oh, I'm going to do this and we're going to meet at this time. You're talking about a demonic entity that's operating over people. And this is the evidence of it, because there's no sun. There is no sun that is over the roof of 1818. There is no sunlight that's going to be present inside of my bedroom. There is no sunlight that's ever magnified like this, that's shooting through closed blinds, that's going to be present for the duration of the day like the entity does with the light source. While I'm showing you another example of what is the maintenance of the specific environment at 5:56 p.m. as I step out of the Upland Public Library at 450 North Euclid Avenue in Upland, California, where the entity maintains the light source over me at Euclid Avenue and Arrow Boulevard. By the way, that same location, 7:55 in the morning, the light source is over me. That's the specific environment, and this is the specific environment. And you just witnessed the people of the state engaging in that pattern of conduct and doing so maliciously through the commercial means, which is Amazon Prime, which is engaging in what is demonic. That's Amazon Prime, a commercial means, the people of the state engaging in terrorism. The sound of sirens is called criminal summoning. All right, and the people of the state on Alvarado Gardens, they're pacing around in engineer light. These are demons that are walking all around the property in the specific environment, and they're monitoring with the entity that is sounding. Those are demons that are using a state vehicle to sound sirens. Just like LAPD was engaging in demonic conduct, flying in circles 30 plus times, the entity was surrounding, sounding sirens, and this is demonic in every regard. And Amazon Prime is documented engaging in this ongoing act of terrorism, as they have been heavily documented engaging in that before. You will see documentation in Ontario, California against Amazon Prime. You will see documentation in Upland, California against Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime is a threat. They literally are the enemy of the American people, and that's not an example. This is actually the nature of the terrorism that the people of the state are engaging in. That's why you see a laundry room filled with impossible light, because these are demons that are systematically and secretly targeting American citizens unbeknownst to you. Those are enemies of your freedom. They're enemies of your privacy. They're enemies of your liberty and your life, by the way. That's the reality. So I want to be clear what Amazon Prime is, what any group stalker is. Not only is this a demon-possessed population, Amazon Prime is routinely hiring those of that condition. Amazon Prime, by all intents and purposes, based on its pattern of conduct, its engagement in criminal facilitation of the state, which is beyond a coincidence, you've got its drivers that are not only in the environment, but they're engaging in the demonic behavior. While they're just driving by you, you're being molested with engineered light. That's a demon that's wearing a vest that's maliciously targeting you and then going to deliver a package. Understand that. That's why they will be civilly and criminally prosecuted. And my documentation has well established that. I've been documenting third parties like Amazon Prime for years, and they engage in the pattern of conduct right now, again, with knowledge of the fact that they're being documented. Okay, all of the entity is watching its own exposure. That is also relevant to the ways in which and the level of damages that shall be awarded to the targeted individual and the criminal prosecution. And again, companies engaging and facilitating go on the list are publicly announced and exposed as engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring, which is terrorism in the United States, serving to violate the liberty, the lives of the liberty and well-being of American citizens while they have the audacity to be in this country and make money off of you. Okay, that's relevant, and they will be maintained on what is a list of to be maintained by the Department of Justice as companies that are routinely threatening, facilitating terrorism in the United States, monitoring American citizens while they want to make a buck. It is the criminal and malicious guise under which federal group stalking and monitoring is underway, and Amazon Prime just engaged in it again, facilitating the state's pattern of conduct with knowledge of the fact that it's being documented. So I want to be clear, that demon is in the specific environment and knows that a camera is being aimed on him. Okay, and this is also how you know that too. LAPD. Evidence against evidence against Amazon Prime and the people of the state. Group stalking by helicopter. So while I'm documenting this, I want to make sure that I capture in the specific environment. Not only are you documenting Uber. Uber was a commercial means of engaging in the pattern of conduct today, arriving in relevant position. This third-party group stalker driving Uber, making a delivery to a third-party group stalker at this facilitating venue. Moments after that, same corrupt law enforcement agencies who are demons flying a helicopter, stalking and threatening me as I document and expose them. They are on video with a license plate. Let me read their license plate. This one, 9KGY 684. And he's going to federal prison. The two females in his vehicle, and I believe there was a third. I could not tell if that was a minor or not, but their images are captured, and they are also in relevant position. And while Uber is the commercial means whereby a third-party group stalker is maintaining criminal presence and activity creation, they also engage in the specific act of terrorism. That is a demon that is coming into the path with engineered light. This engineered light is that which is used to molest the person. That's terrorizing. That's impossible light activity. It's something which both incites fear and also perplexes the targeted individual. It is something that is absolutely terrorizing while all of an entity is targeting them. And it is the direct outward demonstration of demon possession. So I want to be clear, all of that which is being captured while Uber is being professed as the basis upon which the criminal system of federal group stalking and monitoring is underway. Now since that being documented, I want to be clear, Amazon and Uber, this is the same criminal system. Uber has been documented. There is no specific knowledge that is necessary. The pattern of conduct is underway, and it is facilitated through such companies who are, and let me be clear, LAPD, group stalking in the path. Uber does not maintain any defense in civil or criminal court. This is how the people of the state are assisting, facilitating the state's pattern of conduct. And they're doing it in the specific environment. There is no sunlight that's going to be present while the light source is remaining over Upland Public Library as I exit. And you see that flashing light? That's an ongoing admission of what are present demons who know that they're being documented. All of it is going to be used against Uber. It's going to be used against Amazon Prime, who also knew that they were being documented. That's a threat to your life while you're documenting them engaging in an ongoing threat, an impermissible one on behalf of the state in concert with the state that's stalking by helicopter and letting you know, I do not care that you're enforcing your rights. I'm going to continue to stalk you. And let me be clear, there is no excuse when you're delivering food or delivering a package to a third-party group stalker in engineered light that is flashing on a bedroom wall where you're looking at the sun that's over the in alignment to me at the Upland Public Library at the same time. This is the P.O.C. and the demons engage in that communication of a threat with engineered light while you expose them. That requires real-time knowledge because it's absolutely impossible. And it's that also simultaneity of conduct. While I speak about the demons respond with evidence that's going to be used against them. And this is the psychopath. All right. That is frustrated, seething, outraged, but also literally prosecuting itself. That's why they're going to mental institutions. They are a threat to the public. That demon is operating Amazon Prime vehicles and operating Uber vehicles, coming and delivering while they're monitoring and threatening your life in doing so. This is speaking to the criminal purposes of Amazon and Uber. and you just saw that light activity, I have a body of evidence against commercial actors such as Uber and Amazon. Okay, Amazon not only using demons that are operating their vehicles, Amazon, you've got demons that are flying their planes, engaged in real-time reactions to my documentation of Amazon. Amazon Prime, I'm not targeting Amazon. Amazon Prime is targeting me. And so while they engage in the criminal elements of monitoring, they were documented, and Amazon Prime sought to engage in what are foolish and documented acts of retaliation by a demon-possessed actor who knows that they're being documented. That's how you're analyzing that. But the demon-possessed are so fixated, lacking any self-control, not understanding how it's going to be used against them. That's the significance of seeing flashing light on my wall right now. All right, it is currently, again, 6:17 p.m. The reason why I'm bringing up Uber is because Amazon Prime is engaging in what is the pattern of conduct by the people of the state who use a commercial means, and it will be the grounds of civil and criminal prosecution of that company. There is engagement in what is facilitation by a corrupt government that's threatening the life of government, that's monitoring you and stalking you in helicopters, and stalking by group stalking law enforcement agencies who are bearing weapons, driving fire trucks, wanting to engage in kidnapping on a routine basis, making up. That's the government that's corrupt, that's targeting you. That is a threat to your life. Any and everything that helps that government will find very quickly that they will be severely prosecuted and punished under federal law, period. And that's what you're witnessing, and that's what this evidence is supporting. Okay, so it's currently 6:18 p.m. and this is the presence of a light source that is not anywhere over the Upland Public Library, and you see the entity doing this day in and day out. You see the light that's all over the property. There's no light that's going to, under any circumstances, even create the shape of the window while light hits it. But there's also not going to be any light that's occurring while it's over in alignment to me as I'm at the entrance doors of the Upland Public Library. Okay? None of this light activity that I have been capturing for a prolonged period. So you're connecting the dots. It's a specific environment. And that's the significance of what is being on a motorcycle, a demon that's sitting in the parking lot next to impossible light on the asphalt. That's a demon. And they're stalking. You don't have to talk to them. They don't have to talk to you. And this demon also knows what's being said. Light was just flashing on the inside of my bedroom wall. This is impossible light activity. This is demonic activity. This is done in concert with the demons of the Los Angeles Police Department, who are obsessively stalking, flying in circles over here, flying in circles over here, hovering in the darkness outside of my window at nighttime. That's the demon possessed. This is what the people of the state do. He's driving an engineered light. There's no light that's going to occur while the sun is over me in Upland, California. Understand what the people of the state are. They are the enemy of American citizens in this country. They're operating a secret system, and it's not secret anymore. And as I literally blow the whistle and expose them, these psychopath, sex offending, group stalking minions of Satan show the threat that they are while they drive Amazon Prime vehicles, while they make Uber deliveries, which is nothing other than the means of identifying them and alerting the world about the threat that they are, and all the means, all the entities' devices of engaging in this criminal system. That's how that's going to work. Okay, that's exactly how that's going to work. It is currently, again, 6:20 p.m. And I want you to be clear because you've already seen this light activity and I've already shown you day in and day out. This is, like I said, this is how you're understanding how is it an admission. When you're listening to me provide the legal framework, that's how it's an admission. The presence of this light is literally an admission by the people of the state who are inevitably surrounded by a body of evidence stating that they are engaged indeed and placing you under surveillance. They're monitoring you, and they are sex offenders in doing so in the private space. Sex offenders while you are molested, while they are obsessively group stalking you, and they're doing it on behalf and in concert with a government subject to federal prison while they want to engage in those elements and act in concert with corrupt law enforcement agencies, subject to what are mental examinations, placement in mental facilities throughout this country while they want to engage in the criminal elements of monitoring, engage in their demonic behaviors, and terrorize you with their directed light, which you saw on the wall inside of my bedroom, okay? Which you see on the walls while they drive by. Well, you see what is impossible, like moving across the asphalt. None of that is sunlight. Sunlight doesn't do that. And also the sun isn't even here. If that's the sun in Upland, California, then it's not even here it's not possibly here. So in every way they're surrounded, and it is an admission. Okay, you already know common sense dictates the pattern. The blinds are closed. So how is this light even appearing? The blinds are closed. The light source is captured in Upland, California at the same time, but you're looking at the shadow of trees moving through what is magnification of light. This is in every way demonic. It's an admission. And that's how you're understanding how it is very much an admission, and it will be the prosecution of the people of the state. And I have years of evidence against the people of the state. That's exactly how that works. All right? That's exactly how it works. That's exactly how the law operates. And that's exactly how you're going to prosecute federal group stalking and monitoring. Again, it is currently 6:21 p.m., so I want to make sure you understand that was criminal summoning. You have the entity that is acting here at at Alvarado Gardens. Those are demons that are walking around. They're not getting exercise. They're pacing around in engineer light. Amazon Prime, massive facilitation using its vehicle lights with the hazards on. They're sitting under the light source and engineer light. There is nothing that you are able to do that will in any way be anything other than an emission of presence. That's what that video documentation captures. It does not matter as far as the target individual's rights go, who you were delivering it to. It does not. It's legally irrelevant. Group stalking by a government is underway, and it is proof of presence, and that presence is criminal, and it's also criminal facilitation, and you will be civilly and criminally liable for it. But it goes even beyond that, because Amazon Prime is not ignorant. They are demons that engage in the same demonic behavioral pattern. So that is where you also don't have any legal basis whatsoever while you are exhibiting demon possession, crossing path with engineered light. A body of evidence exists to the same. Engaging in the demonic behavioral pattern of, after having been documented, you engage in more of the same, like demons do. They engage in gang conduct. So while you identify one, they'll have more and more and more, like cockroaches that pile up together. That's exactly what the demon possessed do. That's exactly what Amazon Prime has been documented as engaging in. And this is within evidence that I already have. It's just sitting, waiting. I'm only giving you example after example, showing you what already exists, how the entity is prosecuted beyond a reasonable doubt. All right, and surrounded by evidence which it never anticipated. And so while psychopaths, and that is the demon possessed are mentally disturbed. They are obsessed psychopaths that have been engaged in what was done in the dark, and now it's no longer a secret, and you are looking at the threat that they are. That threat needs to in every way be neutralized. Place them in mental facilities, place them in federal prison, quickly and swiftly and permanently remove them from the positions that they have where they are a threat to the lives of American citizens in this country. That's talking about pilots. That's talking about law enforcement, the medical profession. That's talking about those who are driving public transportation, anybody having any control or contact with children. Okay, you're talking about, that's a separate issue with those minors that are engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring. That's a separate issue. What you cannot control, you need not worry about that. But the law is in every way capable of handling the criminal avenues that are at the disposal right now that are being exploited, masqueraded by the demon-possessed population who are targeting American citizens in violation of American citizens' constitutional and human rights. Okay, so anyway, like I said, it's 6:24 p.m. and this is POC. This is in reference to the video. Take a look at it, 5:56 p.m. And you're remembering this is just one day. You've been looking at the entity aiming this engineer light foolishly, day in and day out. Like anybody is going to forget what was documented yesterday. Like that whole body of evidence is in any way like irrelevant at the next moment. The demon possessed literally are this is what I mean by delusional psychopaths, because they're monitoring their own documentation, the evidence against them, and they continue to do so. Let that be in the forefront of the mind of the federal judge or judges that will be providing justice and establishing precedent, in this case against the state of California. They are mindful every step of the way while you are documenting them. That is speaking to not only a psychopath, but a very disturbed psychopath. Okay, you're talking about sociopathic tendencies here. Very, very delusional. Very delusional, not able to accept the fact that what you've been doing is no longer feasible. It's no longer concealed. It is no longer acceptable. Okay, that's what that's telling you. This is being communicated by an entity. An entity. Understand the threat to the target individual. So you are in every way compensating for that immeasurable, incalculable level of violation, of harm, and of torment by an entity. You are in every way criminally prosecuting to the furthest extent possible under federal law and federal laws to be implemented, to be created. Okay, and I have plenty of ideas. All right, with regard to federal group stalking and monitoring. Okay, again, it is 6:25 p.m. and this is POC.